Hi, everybody. Today is Monday, October 27th. Welcome into the light. So, we're going to look at some updates, news articles that have come in on the case of 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard out of California. There was a Candlelight Vigil over this weekend. It was like Friday. And there's also some interesting messages about possible, again, speculation here, allegedly, some people in the Nebraska area saying there might have been some sightings. So I have some screenshots of people that have made these postings, and they've communicated that they have reached out to authorities and the FBI tip line to report this. Um, so let's just start. I wanted to cover some of the Candlelight Vigil article that came out because more information, isn't it? As they were able to talk to family members there and such. So let's pull that up. Okay. Let's see. We have right here. Okay. Let's read this. This is from the Santa Maria Times out there. So, about 25 people gathered with candles on Mars Avenue Friday evening outside the small home where detectives first knocked in search of 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard nearly 2 weeks ago. The vigil drew relatives from the child's late father's side of the family, nearby residents, friends, and television crews who lined the otherwise still Vandenberg Village Street. Attendees were led in prayer with bowed heads, candles in hands, passing the flame from one small white candle to the next as praise music played softly from a portable speaker. A dozen handmade posters demanding Melodee's whereabouts lined the front lawn of the house where her mother, Ashley Buzzard, still resides. Among those present were Marvin Meza, brother of Melodee's late father, Rolando Rubiel Meza, his wife and children, his sister Brigitte, sorry, butchering the word, Trahiti, and his mother, Lily Denes. Again, apologies. I'm pronouncing these wrong. Also attending was Michelle Hernandez, Rolando's former girlfriend who remains close to the family. Rolando Meza died in 2016 in a motorcycle crash in Santa Maria, where Melodee was just 6 months old. In the years after his death, the Mazers, and this is important, right? We've heard about this. This is confirming. The Mazers fostered Melodee for several months, hoping to adopt her and keep her close to the father's side of the family. Marvin Meza, who said little during the vigil, admitted feeling bitter about how the courts handled Melodee's case years earlier. Had the court left Melodee with us, she wouldn't be missing, he said quietly. Our kids are doing good. As parents, we can say they are doing well, he said. His wife, who asked not to be identified, added, the court failed her and us. We have 5 kids between us, and everyone is doing great. She and others noted that Ashley legally changed Melodee's surname from Meza in 2021 after the court placed the child back in her mother's custody. So formally, she had her dad's last name, okay? She was Melodee Meza. So 2021, Ashley changes the name to Melodee Buzzard, her surname. As she organized water bottles and guided guests towards the candlelight circle, Lily Denny's wiped away tears while showing visitors photos of her late son with his daughter. So that's this would be Melodee's paternal grandmother, okay? Denise, who has lost 2 sons, now grieves the absence of her granddaughter, who she has not seen in several years. Denise recalled receiving a late night phone call from County Social Services staff last Thursday asking when she had last spoken with Melodee. I jumped out of bed, she said. Denny said the family once planned to adopt Melodee and that she had already begun paperwork when Ashley withdrew the girl from her Santa Maria school and reportedly left the state. I couldn't just hire a detective to follow her, she said. Denny said when she went to Ashley's mother's house seeking answers, she was told, don't come here again. So hold on. Ashley's mother's house. So the other grandmother, she went to see the other grandmother, which maybe I don't know if that's seeing the other grandmother or Ashley. Ashley must have been staying with her mom when this happened. She was told, don't come here again. Soon afterward, Ashley filed a restraining order preventing further contact. That's an extreme response. At Friday's vigil, a neighbor stood quietly, candle in her hand. It's crazy, she said, asking not to be named. Imagine a world with more connections where neighbors know each other and each other's kids, and we all kept track of each other. How do you not know where your kid is? This is a wake-up call to the community to check on your neighbors and know where they are. Brigitte said she had not seen her niece since Ashley and Melodee briefly lived with Denise, the paternal grandmother, after Rolando's death. She recalled her mother often giving Ashley money for essentials. The family, she said, continues to buy birthday, Christmas, and back-to-school gifts that now fill a spare room. This is so sad, Shriti said through tears. I go to bed at night and wake up every 40 minutes. Melodee is such a sweet girl. I hope she's okay. One local resident, Kristana Valerie, said she had been informally observing the buzzard home from a nearby property. I've been out here since Sunday, she said. I'm doing this for Melodee. The mother of four said she cannot imagine losing track of any of her own children. I take pictures of my kids daily, she said. On Friday afternoon, she claimed she saw Ashley briefly open the door. So she's in there, Valerie said. We've got to figure this out. We have to find out where Melodee's at. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office this week released a new timeline and surveillance photo in the case. Detectives confirmed that Ashley Buzzard left Lompoc with her daughter on October 7th in a rented white Chevrolet Malibu and returned October 10th without Melodee. The trip, investigators said, extended as far as Nebraska and Kansas. So this Kansas is a new aspect to the timeline. In surveillance images from a local car rental business, Melodee appears in a hooded sweatshirt and a dark wig that detectives believe may have been used to alter her appearance. Sheriff Bill Brown said in a statement, our detectives are following every lead in this case. We continue to seek information from the public that could help us find Melodee. We remain determined to bring her home safely. And then it gives the information on how to contact the tip line. And here's some photos from the vigil. I think that's all the information. So this is the paternal grandmother right here. So I think this shed for me some light in the situation when it came to the custody in court, and we need information from the family to know what was actually going on. There was questions of red flags of Ashley's mental health, right? And then going, well, where was the family? Why didn't they do anything? Was anything being done? This gives us just concrete information that yes, they were trying to do something. They had custody of Melodee and they wanted to take her. I mean, that family has 5 kids between them and they're all good and they were happy having Melodee. The father side of the family wanted to care for her. And if Ashley wasn't capable of it, I think it's a lot. I agree, right? The court failed her and us, that wife said, who had been taking care of Melodee. So the question, how did Melodee be able to go back into the care of Ashley, right? Like what was that process like? What were the steps? Usually there's steps you have to take in order to get your child not fast, back, but this seems like maybe it was a little quick, right? And then we're seeing some insight into again the behavior of Ashley, that listen, it's totally up to her to get her child back and change her surname. That's you're allowed to do that, right? But it was these quick actions that she got her back. She changes her surname. Families reaching out, wanting to see what's going on, wanting to help, and shows up to ask questions, and she gets a restraining order. I just am curious as to like the basis of how you could get a restraining order against the paternal grandmother and why a court would grant that. I am no legal expert. I am no custody expert or anything. If anyone has information on that, I'd love to know below, because it's just, you can see the behavior. Um, it's just really sad. There's the family was trying to be involved. The family wanted her. I don't think we can really question that anymore. Let's see. There was another article. I'm just going to browse it quickly. I don't know if there was anything that was new in here. The paternal grandmother in this article just says it's the hardest thing you can go through. We don't know if the baby's okay. That's the hardest thing because it's been so long. It's too many days. They say, oh, this, and here we go. His family has had limited involvement with Melodee, the grandmother said, contending that Ashley Buzzard contacted them only when she needed money. We were always praying that the baby was okay, and every time she reached out to me, I always said yes, because I was hoping with God in my heart that she would let us see the baby, Denise said. I don't know. She just took the baby away from us. I don't know how the system works. Then he said, adding that the family previously talked to a lawyer about trying to get custody of Melodee. That's so sad. In recent days, family members of the girl's father have fielded multiple media calls about the missing girl. Anything we can do for my grandbaby, Denise said, eager to share the story in hopes of finding Melodee. Melodee's aunt, San Luis Obispo resident Victoria Shade, said she wanted to get together as many people as possible to pray for the girl's safe return. I just felt it was important to do that, to show her we are here for her. We want her to come home, and whoever has her, please bring her back, Shade said. Let's see. I think that's the main stuff. Okay, they know that the investigation into Melodee's whereabouts pinpointed October 7th to October 10th as the critical time frame in the case, as the mother remains uncooperative, according to the sheriff's office. Authorities listed Ashley Buzzard's age as 35. Court records for past cases shows she recently turned 40. This would make sense to me as well because I'm aware of the age of her first daughter. Investigators have confirmed that Ashley was seen returning to her Lompoc residence on October 10th, driving the same rental vehicle she departed with on October 7th, but Melodee was not in the car, said Rachel Zick, public information officer for the sheriff's office. Investigators understand that this 3-day road trip went from Lompoc to the Nebraska area, with the return trip including the state of Kansas. Detectives are now focused on determining where Melodee was during those 3 days and where she may be now. Okay, now this is getting to something where I found interesting information, because I did not know until recently this group existed. There's a Facebook group called In Search of Melodee. And it says, speculation theories about the missing girl and mother have quickly spread online, with one Facebook group, In Search of Melodee, growing to 2,000 members. A neighbor's video posted to social media that included speculation about a 72-hour warning presented to the mother quickly spread with an unofficial countdown for the unverified deadline. Our detectives are following every lead in this case. We continue to seek information from the public that could help us find Melodee. Sheriff Bill Brown said in a written statement, remain determined to bring her home safely. And on the FBI.gov website, there is now an official poster for Melodee that is up there with the new photos. So I wanted to actually go into this next about the photos that come out because I'm a little shocked at people's response to the photos that were released. So these are surveillance captures, right, from the Enterprise rental facility in Lompoc, California, where Ashley rented the white Chevy Malibu. And these are the two images that were released. We have this one and this one of Melodee. And they describe that this is updated photo of Melodee, who is wearing a wig and seems to have a disguise on. But these are updated photos, so we now have an accurate representation of what she looks like, okay? I cannot believe how many comments and posts and videos I've seen of people critiquing this photo, saying that they don't think this is Melodee and that they also think this is a young woman, that this is not a girl. So I'm going to like be on the other side of the fence on that. Absolutely, this made sense to me. Let's just talk about it. The photos that we had in the beginning were very old photos, at least 2 years old, okay? 2023. And that could have been early on in 2023. We're talking about an age gap. Kids grow fast. They lose their little baby cheeks, right? The little baby fat and stuff sometimes. Kids change quickly. I never thought at that, like looked at this and thought, oh my gosh, this is not her, right? Context clues as well. The FBI is involved in putting these images out. The FBI, again, put these images out. Do you think the FBI is going to go ahead and release images that they're not for sure are Melodee? This aligns, not only did they release these, this is confirmed with footage that they have seen from the neighbor's house that showed this is like what Melodee is looking at in the present time, okay? And they're just not sharing that with us. The neighbor has that footage, and kudos to her. The family there, they've been searching through their footage and stuff and trying to help authorities, which is incredible. And it's incredible that they thankfully have surveillance that is facing the home. And again, that compared with these images at the rental car place where they went in together. I don't understand just those context clues, how someone's questioning this. Now, if we want to get into a little bit more of it, first of all, I heard people pointing out she's got a purse that looks like a grown woman's purse. I have a daughter. She's 13, so I've been through this age. I'm at the current age. You know how long my daughter's carried purses before? Some days she wants to, some days she doesn't. Sometimes she wants to take my purses out, especially when she was younger, looking at mine, wanting to take mom's. Girls not allowed to carry bags anymore, I don't, again, this is, she's got a little side bag. That's very normal. Now, if we look too at this, if you actually look close, I don't think I can zoom in on this right here, but the photos here in the pants, okay, those leggings, you can see the outline. I recognized it. This is from a kids show. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me, but I know my daughter used to watch it. But these images are of a kids show on television. So these are not just any random leggings. They're geared towards kids leggings. I'm sorry, these feet are not adult women's feet. And if there was magically some other woman that walked in, I'm pretty sure the car rental company would be able to identify that if she was in separately to get a car or whatever. But this is not, I think people need to start realizing as well, right? Let's work with context clues. Let's look at the big picture of everything before we are jumping to conclusions. Because I am shocked at how many people immediately, that can't be her. That's not Melodee. There's no way. I mean, FBI put this out. Okay, verified. If we've looked at just how kids grow, they grow when they change. Okay, we've seen photos now of the dad. Boom. Here's dad. Okay? Here's Melodee's her younger photos. Melodee's got dad's face. For sure. Dad's genes worked hard, okay? So when you look at that, can we see now the resemblance? Like, that's undeniable. She just doesn't look like her mom so much, who also has drastically changed. And if we want to get into that more, okay, Melodee can appear lighter skinned as well, because we've heard that she wasn't really going outside. She wasn't taking her out. They're cooped up in the house. What do you think happens? You lose vitamin D, your melanin changes. You know, I'm Hispanic. My color changes. It does. If I'm outside in the sun more, guys, I'm a beautiful golden goddess, okay? If I don't get as much vitamin D, yeah, I lose some color. All right? It happens. Some people have tones that shift. That doesn't mean that's not the same person. So again, context clues are so important here. And you look like that is for sure. That's a 9-year-old. And maybe that's just because I'm dropping off a kid to middle school every single day. I see middle schoolers and I see kids at the elementary school too. So I don't know. I see kids in this age group every single day. So there was nothing outrageous about these images. And again, the FBI released it, people. Like, maybe we can give the FBI some credit that this is her. Okay. And now I wanted to get to these photos about where sightings have occurred of Melodee. I'm trying to get them up because I'm just like zoom in to read them. And just while I'm pulling this up, small stuff I'm just looking into. I've tried looking back into Ashley's background a little bit, because I just think when we look at these scenarios, right, to get the big picture, there's a lot of pieces to it. A lot of things make up somebody's picture about their life, about everything going on. And I think it's important to see. So, I did verify some information. I will say, when the article says that the family was willing to speak to anyone, I had some people they weren't positive on a piece of information out there that I took one way from. I think it was the Nancy Grace reporting, and others took it a different way. And by all means, I'm like, I don't want to have anything wrong ever. So I did reach out to an aunt I wanted to verify that information I was putting out there was correct. That is important to me. So if you are here, I want you to understand that that's important to me. I'm going to clarify when we're talking about facts, when we're talking about evidence, and also when we're headed to speculation station. Okay, all aboard, because that's a part of things too. Because sometimes speculation, there's some truth in it. It gets people asking questions, right? And there's differences, but when I put something out there that's factual, that it's a statement, and I've gotten that from reliable sources, right? That's important to me. And if there's a question in it, I absolutely am going to hunt down the answer. If I don't know, I'm always one who's going to say, I don't know. I have no idea, right? Honesty is the policy over here, okay? And I will fact check to the best of my ability. And again, if I don't know, I will say that. So know that if you're here and you're watching these videos, that's what you're going to get from me. I think it's incredibly important. So that being said, when I was looking at the red flags, and we've talked about the custody of Melodee and how Ashley lost custody, and there was another child, right? Because to me, when I heard that there was another daughter removed from Ashley's custody, that was another huge red flag, because how are we not following up on more, right? If a child's removed, then you have another child removed. There should be a higher standard to getting that child back. I also believe that there should be a threshold that you cannot you're not approvable or something to homeschool, right? There should be something that maybe in cases we go, sorry, there's no way you're going to qualify to homeschool. You're just not able to due to the history. Okay. Um, and I will say the family was absolutely fantastic. The family really does care. I did not expect a response so quickly, and you can tell how much they care. So the authorities, I can verify as well, the authorities did talk to Ashley's first daughter. Okay. Her first daughter, she had with a different father, and that daughter was, taken away at some point and removed from the home, and the father had full custody of the child. The daughter is an adult now. Okay. She works full time. She's out of school, out of college. And I have no interest in giving those names or photos, which I have seen, okay, to verify the information's correct, unless they're interested in stepping forward. And if they are, and if they ever come across this video and they have something they want to say or contribute to the story, or provide some insight maybe to the past, to Ashley, if she's had contact with Melodee, they're absolutely welcome to contact me. I will keep your identity. We don't have to use your name. We don't have to use your image or your likeness. But if you want to talk, this is a place that you are safe to do so. I will say that if this ever makes its way to you. But I can verify that the authorities did reach out to the daughter and they spoke to her. So you've got that aspect of things. And then some other just before we get sorry, I was looking things up, and sometimes the way the universe works, so Melody's father passed away when she was 6 months old, right? In the tragic motorcycle accident, where it was just a single motorcycle accident. He hit a utility pole. No other vehicles, nobody else was involved in the accident, and tragically passed away from that. As I was searching information, and looking at Ashley's first relationship with their first father, or first daughter's father, uh, again, timing of things, right? I think it's important to kind of see what's going on in someone's life, and is there any connection to what's happening right now? Just because it could determine movements, who they're contacting. I have no idea what the relationship is or was, if there ever is a communication going on. But in this world, so the father of Ashley's first daughter a couple years ago actually had an accident, where his truck, he was turning left and collided with a motorcycle. And unfortunately, the man on that motorcycle passed away from the accident. So I haven't gone through them all, and that's why I, only have limited information. But this happened approximately 3 years ago, and from what I've read, it looks like this is about to go to trial. A lot has started to finally move forward in this case, because he is being sued for a wrongful death lawsuit. Unfortunately, I don't know the details of anything else. It just did state that he stuck around and he didn't leave the scene or anything like that. But it's just, Melody's father died on a motorcycle, and then Ashley's first daughter's father unfortunately had an accident where he unalived somebody on a motorcycle. And again, I was just curious. I was reading through it, and these are just thoughts that go through my mind. I'm like, is she talking to him? Was there anything about the case? He has lawyers. I don't know if those are provided by the county or if he was paying for those. We know Ashley doesn't really have funds, right? But just, that's my spiral. Ashley's had a lot go on in her life. I think that's also part of it as well. There's a lot There is a lot in this case, a lot of information. In a lot of areas that we honestly shouldn't have gotten to this point. There shouldn't be a child missing because there was family that wanted to see her. So let's head to speculation station. All right, because this is not this is just stuff that is posted online. I can't verify it at this time. I haven't talked to these people that have posted it, but this is information shared online, so we're just going to bring it up. There are a few postings that came up that people said there's possible sightings of Melodee in Nebraska. So this one says, okay, we had a couple comments on here. That's why I'm going to read it out loud because I know it's hard to see. Actually, let me see if I can share this image a little closer. I might be able to. Hold on. Window. I think I can. Let's try this. Let's see if. Yeah, it doesn't really show it any closer than what I had. All right. Well, I did my best, everybody. I will just. Let's see. Hold on. Wait. We're trying. A little closer-ish. Oh, guys, look at that. Okay, success. So these were posted in a Facebook group about searching for Melodee Buzzard. So this comment said, I live about 5 miles from where the mom lives. My son and family live a couple blocks away. A friend shares a fence with the mom's property. We live in a small community. We all want answers, but the mom has mental issues. My understanding, law enforcement has 24/7 surveillance on mom's house and the mom. I can't confirm, but the mom going to Nebraska or Kansas may have adopted Melodee out. We just have to pray for a positive outcome for Melodee's safety. Okay, that's about. So here we go. This one. She was seen in Omaha. So that's Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, with her mother. She's using the name Harper. She's been seen around unsavory people. Police have been notified with no response after leaving voicemails. So this was just posted recently in this group, okay? Again, speculation station, right? You can't confirm any of this. Now let me show the other two. We've got this one. Okay, let's zoom in. This was screenshotted from a page. Again, this appeared in the group, but True Crime Seeking Justice site. Again, the same person commenting, would be nice if the police would call back. Child seen in Omaha. Mother left her with gang members. This is the same profile, the Sherry Brown, as we just looked at. And then there is one more screenshot where somebody also brings up a sighting. Let me just. This one. Let's zoom in. This is posted on the Omaha Police Officers Association. Okay. It says, Omaha Police Officers Association. I swear I saw this girl in Nebraska City on Sunday at the very end of one of the parking lot lanes at Walmart. I've already submitted a tip. I included my phone number in the tip. Is there anything else I should do? Another person. She seems familiar to me. There was a little girl that looked exactly like her walking with a man in Omaha, Nebraska a few days ago. Don't know if it was her, though. So, again, um, this is just pure speculation. This is from online. What there is to it, I don't know. There's been plenty of cases where people believe they see someone or somebody that looks similar, and it pans out that it's not. But at the same time, these could be valid sightings, right? This is from an Omaha site where they were posting about this. So is she in Nebraska? Was she left there? Who was she left with? Is this where she wound up? And who is she with, if that's the case? Who did Ashley drive her to and just leave her with? It's not great when you have two different people saying that she was with unsavory people. One said gang members again. I don't know what that means in Nebraska. I don't know who unsavory people are, but they're obviously incredibly concerning comments, right? Incredibly. And then the other thing is saying that she's using the name Harper. Um, I don't know what to make of that. What do you think? Do you think there's any truth to that? Again, these are just posts. These are posted online. These are when people are putting out information in Nebraska area, asking if anyone's seen her. So that's just something I saw today for the first time. Those are the updates I have right now. I believe that we'll have more information coming soon. Again, it was seen that Ashley was left her home at 5:50 a.m. She got an Uber this morning. I saw somewhere else that it appears that she's come back home. Where was she going? Not sure. Are we at a deadline where she's supposed to produce Melodee, or what the next steps are? Right? Is the FBI bringing her in? Are they going to question her? What's going on? I think the big question is like, what is happening from the authorities' standpoint here? Are they talking to her? Are they questioning her? If anything, I think they need to pause her Social Security income that she receives for Melodee from the passing of her father, those benefits, because as I saw, it does seem like that she is receiving that, and that's mainly what she uses for her income. If the child's not under care, she doesn't. Those benefits get to be paused. So pause them, right? Start pressing in some way. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. What do you think? What do you think about these settings in Nebraska? I I have hope, okay? I have hope that this child is um alive, okay? I do. I think unfortunately she may not be in a very good situation simply by the fact that she's not with family right now, right? She's not with loving family. We don't know who's out there in Nebraska, because if this had made it there, why wouldn't they call? Why wouldn't they say hi? There must have been some miscommunication. I had no idea there was an issue. I have her, right? This is making national news at this point. How would you not know? Um, so those are the updates today. I will update if more comes in from the news. But thank you for joining us here at the light, where everything in the dark comes to light. And in this case as well, eventually everything will come to light. And hopefully that just ends with Melodee coming home safely and being able to be placed with her loving family that wants to care for her. Thank you all for being here. If you can, do me a favor, give a like, subscribe, share. If you know anybody in the Omaha, Nebraska area as well, please make sure you're getting this story out to them. With the possibility of sightings, that we're getting a few comments from different people, right? puts a higher possibility that she could really be out in that area. So please make sure, if you know any family members, any friends in Nebraska, please target that area. Omaha, Nebraska seems to be where it's been mentioned a few times. So please get this out to them. Thank you for being here, and let's hope that this ends with a positive ending, and Melodee gets brought back home. That's the goal here, okay? The goal here, not to forget, is Melodee right here. Let's bring her home.